It seems like the deeper the season goes, the more of a fuckboy Cliff becomes. It's to the point I'm starting to get embarrassed every time there's a Cliff Shawna interaction, and this one definitely, made me cringe as well. Let's get into it. Hey, what is going on, folks? This is another episode of Just My Opinion with Ryan, and goodness gracious, we're going to talk about rap shit. And if you see the pop-up, you already know what to do. Help your boy get to 1,000 subscribers. And I don't know, it seems like the deeper the season goes, the more of a fuckboy Cliff becomes. It's to the point I'm starting to get embarrassed every time there's a Cliff Shawna interaction. And this one definitely, made me cringe as well. Let's get into it. If you don't know by now, I may not go in chronological order. I may just go with some of the key storylines that I found the most interesting per episode. So in this one, we are going to start from the beginning. We see the homegirl's friend who got beat up by Mia. I think his name is Ronnie or something. He is on Instagram Live, blasting Mia, blasting Shawna, calling them just about every damn derogatory name in the book, call them dusty hoes, ratchet, this and the third, demanding an apology for her, for his friend. And, I don't care what anybody says with the whole sticks and stones break my bones, but words never hurt me. I can understand how that could be, affecting somebody like Mia, especially when you're not used to that type of public criticism. As you see, after the Instagram Live, there's all these comments, especially towards Mia, saying, whose dick did she have to suck to get on? They're like questioning her motherhood, Someone had the gall to say, this is why people don't want to date black women. Y'all are violent. Just very negative stuff, especially towards Shawna. I mean, not Shawna, but Mia. And I could see how that could be hurtful. And, just put it in perspective, right? Cardi B has been pretty successful for years. Is considered a rap veteran at this point. And she still gets bothered by what people have to say about her on social media. So you can imagine how that could really affect someone just now coming into the game. But I do tell you one thing that I did find satisfying about the whole, physical altercation that Mia had, and is being out, called out for. It's so satisfying because, spoiler alert, I'm not the toughest guy. Not a punk, but I'm not the toughest guy. But spoiler alert, being that I wasn't the toughest guy, I still grew up in like this time where, what you said or how disrespectful you acted towards somebody really could lead to some physical altercations. You really had to dislike someone if you were to talk reckless or be disrespectful, at least when I was growing up. And so, not to sound like the old grumpy guy, but it was like, you really had to acknowledge what type of action could come behind your disrespectful words or your disrespectful actions. So, I do feel like sometimes in this day and age, this present day and age we live in, especially with social media being so prominent, I do feel like there are a lot of people who talk reckless, whether in person or behind keyboards, and they never expect any type of physical altercation to come. Clearly, like what we saw in the previous episode, a woman bumps into Mia. It was like, excuse you, pretty disrespectfully. And Mia, she did extend the whole, what did you say? And she was about to repeat it and got smacked. So to me, I do feel like that's kind of like a reality check. What you do and what you say, should have those type of consequences. And I appreciate that show bringing that back. We need to bring back more of those type of threats. What you do or what you say to people could possibly lead to physical altercations. I think a lot of people don't expect physical altercations just because they say some things or they act disrespectful. I'm all for bringing that type of action back. But anyway, so as far as Mia's storyline throughout this episode, you can see how that's really bothering her. You know, at one point she went to go try to drop her daughter off at her mother's house. She saw that wasn't a good idea. The mother's still acting all negligent and kind of barking at the daughter whenever she was doing something that she wasn't supposed to be doing. So writing was already in the wall, you know, and it seems like that's another unfolding storyline as well. It's like Mia just more and more kind of just sees what she does not want to be as a mother, and as a result of that, she you know, it seems like she gets more and more turned off by her mother as these episodes continue to go along. I did like the fact that when she went back to her house to try to rest or kind of just try to lay low, especially with being that she's being, you know, attacked on social media. It seems like what feels like forever, even though it's just one day. I did like the fact that Lamont came over, trying to see what's going on, try to put some perspective on it, letting her know that it's just the internet. And, you know, and she was at least, you know, kind of shot a couple strays at Lamont, but Lamont allowed her to get her frustrations off. You know, she was being frustrated about, you know, the whole, I'm there for everyone else, but who's going to be there for me? We got a whole child together, and sometimes you're not there for me, things of that nature. So I did appreciate that. Instead of him trying to defend himself or just have a war of words going back and forth, he actually decides to cook for her. And you saw there was like a brief, you know, family moment between Mia, Lamont, and their daughter. I thought that was very sweet. And of course, we are gonna, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna save that for when we get into Shawna. So I did like that part. And as we see, Mia actually gets some encouragement after she does go and looks at the live for a very good reason. She sees her friend Shawna is actually stepping up to the plate and defending her homegirl Mia, which I thought was super dope. So I'm liking how that storyline goes. Just to fast forward a little bit, we do see that as a result of Shawna stepping up to the plate, that, you know, she asked Lamont for a new beat, and they have what seems to be a new potential single yet again. So I'm loving how the like just the pace of this episode went. So now let's get into Shawna. I think Shawna was definitely a great story, you know, just a great highlight this episode. Shawna was definitely MVP for obvious reasons, which we're going to get into. But before we get into that, you know, Jill, I believe her name is, homegirl from Spotify, and I think the one that was also talking behind Shawna's back, they actually kind of calling her, trying to see if she's okay after the whole Instagram live fiasco. And this is why sometimes when it comes to relationships and things of that nature, sometimes you just got to keep some drama to yourself. Whenever drama is seen in public out of your relationship, it's almost like that's when people want to pretend to really show concern, when they just really want some more tea from you. So you see Jill and the other homegirl who was just talking down about her, episode 2, they're trying to be like, oh girl, are you okay? We're trying to make sure you good. I found stuff like that gets them under. I do find like that's fake. I don't think they were genuine with finding it. I think they just wanted to find out more tea or whatever. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm just looking in it too deep. But she reassures them that she's fine. She's up right now. She is good. And I don't blame her. I think she should just move on. As I said in the beginning, each episode, Cliff just gets worse. He's just becoming more of a fuckboy as these episodes continue to progress. I don't know. I know Kid Fury is one of the writers, but I don't know if like there's just like a bulk of writers for this show who have, you know, who has had like firsthand experience of dealing with a fuckboy, and so they're trying to just, you know from firsthand how to write out this character Cliff. Or maybe there's like, you know, someone in that writer's room who was once a fuckboy, but now he's, you know, now he's delivered. Now he's changed. And so he knows how to write a character like Cliff. I don't know what the formula is, but Cliff is definitely Cliff and Jill from Spotify are two of the people who get on my nerves the most. That's just me. But, and, you know, and I definitely loved how we actually see how she was moving on, you know, instead of going to work, Shawna invites Maurice to play hooky with her. So instead of going to work, to spend the day at the beach, which was fun. I felt like that was just a cute impromptu date. Pardon me. They run into a couple of friends, I guess from work or whatever the case is, and then they just have a ball. They start jet ski racing. Maurice is putting Shawna on to some new ways to remix some fruit. He poured some type of sauce and gave it to her. This and the third. So all that was getting cute. You saw them flirting on the jet skis. Clearly, Shawna don't know how to drive a damn jet ski, which was funny. And then of course we get to the hotel. They go ahead and take advantage of their employee privileges and I guess go into like a penthouse type of a hotel room. And we saw where things went from there. We saw the flirting a few episodes back in the club when the song got played. And so I felt like Maurice was definitely capitalizing on the situation. Not in a bad way. Like he sees the social cues that they both could feel the sexual tension or attraction with one another. And I felt like your man was reading the signals right. So kudos to Maurice. I felt like he knew what was doing, especially small cues like them riding on the jet and she's like, oh, I'm already wet. And he's like, oh, I could feel it. Just small flirty stuff like that. Flirty jabs that Maurice was just dropping here and there. I thought it was dope. He read the room right. He read the signs right. And he scored, as you can see. They had the whole shower scene. And hey, who knows? Maybe I guess what you call it. I guess they're in like a situationship. Not sure what they calling it yet, whatever the case is. So after that, we definitely get to round 2 of Ronnie trying to, continue to stir up this beef with, Shawna and Mia. Which I wonder if they're going to come up with like a rap group name instead of just Shawna and Mia. Anyway, he's still trying to stir up this beef. Mia is, apparently wrote in the DM, trying to, be reasonable or trying to make peace basically. And he wasn't having it. He put her DM on blast, which it wasn't anything too embarrassing, but it's like, damn, and this guy definitely came off like an asshole. It's just, like who are you? Why are you so loud and boisterous for something that your girl should be doing? So anyway, after he stirs up all this trouble, Shawna actually comes through and shuts all that down. I loved how Shawna came through, called him out, putting him on blast for not fully explaining the whole story. Put him on blast, was like, why are you speaking up for your homegirl instead of your homegirl speaking up for it? Because he definitely tried to come for Shawna for that same reason. Like, oh, where's Mia at? So I love how Shawna just flipped it on her. And, it got to the point, she started to roast him. She started to roast her friend for what she had on. Said she had on some type of outfit with some huaraches on, like she was at fault for that type of shit. I thought it was just hilarious. That's exactly how you're supposed to step up for your homegirl. And case closed. Ronnie just got embarrassed on his own live. He was going out sad. You saw some of the comments. Yeah. Home run for Shawna. I thought that was dope. And yeah, man, I'm just loving how this episode goes. And dang, another thing. And then because of the chemistry that Shawna and Maurice have, you got Maurice just coming out of nowhere, being the hype man for all the dissing she was doing. I thought that was hilarious. Loving this chemistry between Maurice and Shawna. And you know what? I'm talking bad about Cliff, and I didn't even give any example. So I will rewind just a little bit. At some point while they're on the beach, you definitely see the text messages. He's like, oh, have fun on the beach. I see, don't you want to try to fix this? And it's like, time out, man. Like, you the one that broke stuff. You should be trying to fix it. So, I'm not surprised that, but you would think he would try to come out with an apology, instead of coming off so harsh. Like, why is it my job to fix something when you're the one who was breaking shit? You the one that got on Instagram Live. You the one that was trying to embarrass Shawna on Instagram Live, this and the third. But yet you want Shawna to be the one to, I don't know, I guess apologize or fix something. And that's just like some narcissist stuff. And so that was, so that was just corny. Just lame, all around lame. And I guess even to make matters worse, at the end of the episode, he comes back by, confirming with Shawna that her suspicions of Fatima is true, that they were sleeping together as well. So it was just like, this guy gets worse every episode. So, I definitely hope that, it's good riddance for Cliff. Zach, I wish I could find it, but I guess like a very, very small prediction. I know we got 2 episodes left. And actually, I can't even say prediction. I read it, on Twitter, live tweeting about the show. And I apologize if I forget your name, but there's one person who was like, do you think the sex tape that Shawna made with Cliff will somehow be leaked? That would be the worst of the worst of some lame stuff. But, I wouldn't put that past Cliff at this point. He's already upset that Shawna wasn't trying to fix whatever he started. He's already was already upset about the Brent Fires thing. He's already trying to be bitter by throwing Fatima in her face now. So, doing some revenge porn stuff by leaking the sex tape that they made together, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. Never love it or hate it, folks. These are just my opinions. I am loving the show. Peace.